Last week, the jury forewoman in the Georgia election interference probe gave several concerning interviews to media outlets CNN, MSNBC, and the New York Times. Following her media tour, 45th President Trump's attorney said they were weighing legal action. I'm joined by legal analyst, founder of Judicial Watch, and author of It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America, Larry Klayman. Larry, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, let's break down Emily Corr's interviews. What she did was not illegal under Georgia law. However, she said some things that raised eyebrows, like she spoke about an ice cream party with prosecutors. Can you tell us about how this episode of jurors socializing with prosecutors may pose a conflict of interest?
You know, regrettably, in today's world, there's conflicts of interest, and then there's what's going to be enforced. In a very political atmosphere like Georgia right now, which is most likely to issue indictments, probably even against President Trump, because it's just out of control down there. Yes, it is a conflict of interest. It's more than a conflict of interest. It's a basis for disqualification of that juror, or for that matter, any grand jurors that were socializing and partying with the prosecutors. As a practical matter, however, grand juries will return indictments when prosecutors ask for it. That's where the expression "you can indict a ham sandwich" comes from. Do not expect justice in Georgia with this grand jury. It's, excuse the language, an S show. I won't use the pejorative statement, but that's what it is. It's political. It's meant to damage President Trump. It's meant to try to prevent him from running for president in 2024.
Well, you know, Trump's attorney said that they're looking into filing unspecified motions. Do they have a leg to stand on, as they say? What could these filings contain?
They do have a leg to stand on. Whether a judge would enforce that and grant the motion is another question. The biggest problem in this country today, and I write about it in my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America, are the judges, particularly in the federal court. They're bought and paid for. They're put on the bench with campaign contributions and other forms of bribery. State judges are very susceptible to what's going on politically in the system. But whether a judge has the guts to put his foot down or her foot down and to disqualify these jurors is another question. Frankly, I doubt that'll happen with the atmosphere today in Georgia. Georgia used to be a conservative state. It's changing. It's becoming very, very leftist in many ways. In fact, even the Republican establishment in Georgia would like to see Trump gone. We've seen that before. So I don't hold out much hope that anything of merit will happen. However, I do think that whatever Georgia does probably will not ultimately determine President Trump's decision to run for re-election in 2024.
So I want to ask you, what do you see as the outcome or, the fallout of this? Does this help Trump's defense against potential prosecution?
It will help it in Georgia in all likelihood if it gets upheld by a Georgia appellate court. But frankly, Trump is going to be indicted. I mean, the Democrats are after him. They see him as the likely Republican nominee. He'll be indicted probably in Georgia. He'll be indicted for sure in the District of Columbia. There'll be bogus, non-meritorious indictments, frivolous indictments. But that doesn't bother the Democrats anymore. They just do whatever they think they have to do to try to remove this guy. And the fact that he'll probably be running as of today, they're going to have to do something to try to stem a challenge by Trump against Biden in 2024, and they will be absolutely ruthless in doing it.
Absolutely. Well, Larry Klayman, thank you for your insight, and thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.